Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to Coping with Life. I am your host, Scott. It is Saturday, everybody. I appreciate you dedicating a part of your day or night or weekend or whenever you are listening to this. I appreciate you. I care about everyone and your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, no matter how close they may be to be obtaining, and then going from there. Or, you may need that little motivation, little cheer squad to get you to where you want to be so you can go the next step. We are talking about dreams and aspirations on today's episode. And no matter what your dream is, no matter what you want to do, if it's attainable and realistic, 100%, go for it. And there's many reasons why I believe that. Because nothing is, if you work hard enough, even if it doesn't come true, if it doesn't happen for whatever reason, well, you don't get to live in your mind saying, oh, I really wanted to do this, but I didn't think it was going to happen, so I didn't try. And that's kind of hard to swallow, and you miss a lot of opportunities when you don't take action. And I live with regret and dwelling on a lot of opportunities that have passed me by in my life. I don't want to do that anymore. It being April 15th, 2023. It is Saturday. And, in a couple months I'm 36. And, that makes me think, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be very open on a lot of things. And if you are new and this is your first episode that you are listening to, welcome. Glad to have you. And but if you're somebody who likes to listen to every single episode, I appreciate you. I do. It really means a lot. And so I'm revisiting a previous episode, and a lot of the episodes where I tell people to chase their dreams. But now I want to open up a little bit more and go through, my brain thinking and things about my life. One thing, being disabled, mentally ill, or being classified as a word that a lot of people who don't really understand things is offensive. It's not offensive to me. I've been called a lot worse in my life. And that's retardation. Technically, I am. Does it offend me when somebody calls me that? No. Because, I'm gonna be honest, if words affect me now, I'm good. Now when I was younger, that was a different story, but I have grown, and I am who I am. And one of the things that I'm about to say is the testament of that. Because those same people who say, oh, don't use retardation, don't call them a retard, they're, special or whatever word or vernacular that they would like to use, tend to be the same people who talk down to them and tell them, and I quoting a few people who have told me this throughout my entire life, oh, Scott, you can't do that. No, Scott, you're gonna, you can't live alone. You're not able to do those kind of stuff. You're not able to, do daily life stuff. Those are the same people who say, oh, don't call them a retard. They turn around and, squash those dreams, And I remember I've been very honest and outspoken of the stuff that I've been able to do in my life. And I'm going to be honest, I'm 35 currently. A couple months I'm 36. I live alone. I've lived alone for a long time now. I left home when I was 19. And, I've lived in Texas. I've lived in California. I've made mistakes along the way. But, I've chased my dreams. I'm doing this podcast. This podcast essentially has helped rejuvenate my passions of, I was tired of being told that, you're disabled, you're mentally ill, you shouldn't be here. It's like, these people should not be in my life, and they aren't. And so I'm using who I am to try and help other people while helping myself. Because where I was mentally a couple of years ago, I wasn't in the right mindset. I was not mentally well. Am I mentally well now? That's debatable. But I have my good days. I have my bad days. I have my mean days. But at the end of the day, I am me. And I'm chasing my dreams. the ups and downs, the trials and tribulations. And, I want to help other people find the voice, the people who, may have a family member who is mentally ill or autistic or somebody who is not quote unquote normal or may not be able to live on their own. We're not cookie cutters. Everybody is different. Everybody, what works for me probably won't work for the next person. And that's definitely okay. I mean, it doesn't hurt trying what works for me, but again, everybody is different. And, and I have evolved over the years. And I'm very proud of myself. And it's taken a lot of effort to get where I am today. Even though my brain lies to me, and letting those voices of other people who, I'm going to be honest, and frank, but they don't pay my bills. They don't put food on my plate. So why should I listen to their negativity? I try to be a very positive person because negative affects me and it hits me like a 10-ton brick. Because if I'm depressed and like if I'm sick, I'm sick for a long time. And it's really hard to, get out of that. And so, you live life once. And being on this great earth is a blessing. And, there's a lot of things that I've, ever since I was a young child, there was only a couple things that I wanted out in life. And, realizing that, that's not in the cards. That is finding out on yourself, not being told it, but realizing, what? I don't think this is actually going to happen. And instead of, just letting time pass, I have been able to shift my focus on things that I'm passionate about. One being, I want to go to Japan. And saving up. I mean, if it takes me 10 years to save up, then, well, it takes 10 years. It's still a goal now. Have I, locked the other stuff in a box to, do I not ever want to accomplish? No. I mean, if it happens, it happens. But, I'd rather do things for myself. Because I've always thought of other people first. It's really hard for me to think for myself. If I'm the person who have no money, but if somebody's pet passes away, I'll spend the last $5 on a card and flowers and just be there, or whatever it may be. That is who I am. I'm used to being poor and broke. That's as long as I can try and live a good life, and make people smile and tell jokes. I'm all for it. And I'm going to be honest, and I've said this a few times. Now, Japan is still something that I really want, but there's been a few things that have came up that have put that back on the back burner. And I'm okay with that. But those things are important, and one of those things is my dental hygiene. I'm working on getting dentures. The process is still ongoing. I have more extractions in late June. And just other things about my health that, are not only taking a hit of the finances that I want to do Japan in my planning, because the thing that I excel most is planning and budgeting. And that's something that I enjoy doing. I know a lot of people don't like the mundane thing like that, and also trying to get better on a lot of other things. It just takes time. But most of all, it takes effort. Sometimes I don't have the energy to do it, and I'm completely being honest. I'm lucky to get out of the bed by 8 p.m. And then I'd probably go back to bed in 2 hours after that. Or the opposite, I'm up for 4 days. So, but I'm trying to take control and get better and focus on what I want and what I would like, and things that I think would be interesting. And it's good to have a dream, even if it's most likely never going to happen. And an example, I want to go to Japan. I have a passport. If if I win the lottery or get money, the first thing I'm doing after obtaining the finances, I'm going to Japan. But again, those are things that I cannot control. I can buy my ticket. Doesn't mean I'm going to win. It would be nice. But, making effort. Because Yes, I play the lottery. And I spend, you know, not that much, but I do. And there's a lot of things that I should do, a lot of good, but it is something that is effort. I'm at least trying. But, so let's say you have a dream or a thing that you want to do that, let's say, has a low probability chance. And if you're trying at it, I mean, A, you're not living in regret, but it might happen, or even if it's small, and I'm going to give you a couple examples, and so I love the WWE. I love the WWE, and my entire life, growing up, I said, I'm going to work for the WWE. And yes, I envision as a superstar. That's not happening. But I've always said that I was going to work for the WWE. And I'm going to be honest, that is not a realistic dream for a lot of people, especially people like me. So that's been a dream. This is what I want. This is what I've. However, for about a week or so, technically, I worked for the WWE. And especially the paycheck said World Wrestling Entertainment on it, and it felt good. I worked for the WrestleMania Access, at the WrestleMania Superstore in Dallas, Texas for WrestleMania 32. I also volunteered. I had my ticket to NXT. I had my ticket to Raw. I had ticket to WrestleMania. I didn't have to volunteer for the WWE Access. I didn't need to work for the merchandise team setting up the store and putting things on shelves and checking people out. My entire schedule was booked, and I was glad that I did that. Nobody forced my hand, and I was readily available, and except when, during WrestleMania and the teardown on Monday, because I live pretty far away that I couldn't get to the convention center at the time that they wanted to, which they understood. And then a little ups and downs, but I did my best. And So technically, I worked for the WWE. And, 3 weeks later when I got the check, that felt good. And, it wasn't much, but you know what? It helped. It helped. And I got to, in a sense, words are hard. Basically, I'm giving up on that word. I'm going to continue. Basically, I got to live my dream. And, I've always said, it would be nice to, be on a TV show or, be in a movie. But, again, it happened. Now, I'm going to give an example. I don't care what your opinions are on this. But and I'm keeping, my opinions to myself. But it is the just hear me out. So when I was little, when I was going through high school and stuff, teachers would have okay, class, today we're going to write down the thing that, the thing that you want to do, people you want to meet dead or alive. And I was like, you know what? I wrote this essay, article, and I was really proud of it. 100% proud of what I wrote and what I did. And I remember this very vividly. And so did the teacher. And so I remember writing this article on somebody that I would love to meet. And I was told that, again, the thing was, dead or alive. I was the only person that was pointed out and basically went, Scott, that's never going to happen. Write something else. This is never going to happen. It was like, this is an automatic F. Write something else. I didn't. I went back in my little cubicle and I don't think I wrote another article because I believed in myself. This is the person that I would want to meet, and that was Donald Trump. He was on, I think The Apprentice just came out, and other stuff. I wanted to meet Donald Trump. And I kind of, Now, I think it was 2007. I got close. Donald Trump was at WWE Raw in Portland, Oregon. That I was there. And I remember that WWE Raw very, very well. And I'm like, you know what? This is as close as I'm going to be to meeting Donald Trump. Well, I was wrong. Because when he was running for president, he was doing a rally at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. And I was on the floor. I had my little brown hat. I dressed somewhat nice. And it's been somewhat deleted off of the interwebs. But Jimmy Kimmel had a bit, and there was a butt crack that people laughed at. That was mine. I'm with the Trump stamp sticker on my lower back. Yeah, that was me, and I'm admitting that. But I got to meet Donald Trump. I have video evidence of that encounter. It was very short. And I think that is the greatest thing in the world. And I emailed that teacher. And they're like, oh, hey, can I use this in, with my students, because they've still had a few years left of teaching. They've since retired. But they use that as like, you know what? Chase your dreams. You try hard enough. Things happen. So I got to complete, what I wrote of, I want to do this. This would be nice. Putting it out in the world. Manifesting it of, it may not come, let's say the next year. But if it's attainable and it's somewhat realistic, because I grew up in a very small town. And, at that point, hey, this is probably never going to happen for you. But it did. I've technically worked for the WWE. I met Donald Trump. Again, what my opinion of this person, I'm not going to divulge. I don't do politics. I don't care. But I'm just saying, as a whole, this was somebody that I wanted to meet. And I didn't care of the circumstances. So, and that was something that I was very proud of. And to me, that is a good thing. So when I say, chase your dreams, if it's attainable, go for it. It may not happen today, but it might happen tomorrow. You never know. And, the way that life works can be funny. And I put the positive energy out there. I try and lift people up. Because tearing people down is, not good. And, for me, I would love to win the lottery. And now, yesterday, Friday, the Mega Millions was at $476 million. Now, you cut that in half, and it becomes 200 something million if you take the 30-year. And these numbers are basically according to the numbers of Oregon, where I live. Your state would be, different. Every state is different. And the numbers are very arbitrary. But if you take a lump sum, it would be roughly 100 something million. But I didn't win. But instead of being, oh gosh, I didn't win, or being negative or mad, the person in New York, I'm glad they won. I think that's fantastic. Good for that person. And I hope that it's a blessing for them as well. And for me, I know, good things are coming my way. And, for me personally, I think, better things are coming my way. And, I have faith that it's going to happen. And so, that uplifts me to continue in helping other people and spread the love and good luck to everybody. Instead of tearing people down, I'm going to be honest. So, yesterday when I bought my ticket, there was somebody in front of me, where I was in line, and they were behind me, and I'm like, yeah, you can get in front of me. I'm good. And they happened to get a couple of lottery tickets themselves, and I said, best of luck to you. I hope you win, and I mean that. I want everybody to live a good life. I want everybody to be happy. And it would be nice for me to win so I can do things that I've always really wanted to do. And do things smartly. And I know this may sound weird or foolish, but I honestly believe, little words are hard. I honestly believe I'm going to win the lottery. It may be today. It may be next week. Maybe a year from now. But I honestly believe that I'm going to win a jackpot lottery. How much it may be, I have no idea. But I know that I am. I just feel it. I feel that in my bones that that's going to happen for me. Now, is that realistic? Absolutely not. But apparently, I fall into weird ways. I was in a Nick Cage movie because I'm me. It's not realistic to wake up to an email of, hey, we would like you to do this. But that happened. So it's one of those things where, you say, well, it's not realistic for this to happen. Or, just land. I'm going to tell the story, but I have a friend who is a huge Lord of the Rings fan. And, very, very, very similar. 100% very similar. And I'm going to be honest. I kind of was somewhat negative. And I ate crow. I 100% ate crow on this, and I'm so glad. Because, they were basically, I'm going to meet Elijah Wood. I'm like, okay. And so here I'm thinking, they're going to go to a convention, and do that. No, I was wrong. Elijah Wood was filming something in Vancouver, British Columbia. And then came down to the States. And went to the workplace that my friend was working at, and got to meet and take a picture with Elijah Wood. I am still 100% happy for my friend, and I ate crow. Things like that happen all the time. Is it realistic that it's going to actually happen? No, but it's obtainable. The chances may be low, but it still might happen. So, and that's a memory, and I think that's amazing. Happy for my friend who has, met, one of her favorite hobbits. And so, and I have many of these stories that not only affect me, but, people in my little circle that I have. So, if you're depressed, or even if you see somebody else depressed or going through things, maybe take a few hours of your day, lend an ear, listen. Maybe that's all that this person may need. Or, excuse me, breathing is a task for me today. But, there's many things. I've lived many different places for many different situations. But, if it's attainable, and I say go for it. I want to go to Japan. I put it out in the world. I would love to get amazing sponsors, but I also have to put it in the hard work. And you know what? This is a testament. I am doing everything myself now. I'm self-sponsored. Whatever that means. But I love this podcast. I love doing what I'm doing because it's making me happy. Because I know that episodes need to go up every Saturday. It's Saturday. And even though this goes up at noon, Pacific Standard Time, I have to record it a little bit earlier, for people just wondering. Right now it's 10:01 a.m., which, if you didn't know, is 10:01 a.m. reversed, if you flip it. I don't remember what that's called, but I think that's amazing. So, but dreams are obtainable. Things, and, especially if, something happens that you're like, oh, well, I don't think that's going to happen. There's nothing wrong with apologizing. And, keep on spreading that uplifting good energy. And the karmatic energy. I believe good things are coming my way. To what degree? I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. I just know that good things are coming my way. Thus, I need to be genuine to who I am as a person. I'm going to cough. Apologies. But I need to be true to who I am. And I'm always true to who I am. And however you work, because everybody is different. And I'm being vulnerable right now, talking about this type of stuff. Because it's kind of hard. I'm knocking things over. I'm not used to talking, really about myself and the stories that's happened. And I'm going to be honest. The small stuff that I have done in my life, they matter. They mean a lot to me. The stuff that I've been blessed, able to do, other people dream of that. And, envy is the real thing. And there's the other thing that, people have or been able to do. And I'm like, oh, I would love to do that. It's like, well, why don't you write it down, if it's attainable, if it's things that is realistically able to be, then there's a chance that it might happen. Hard work pays off. Being diligent, or again, words are hard for me. But things that you may thought was unrealistic or unattainable 6 months ago may be like right in your hands. And that's some of the greatest thing in the world. The opportunities that happen, I want to give another story. Why not? Welcome to Coping with Life Storytime Edition. So, I don't remember the Super Bowl. No, it's not me going to a Super Bowl. So when I was little, I want to say it was the Super Bowl opening for, I don't remember the number, but I want to say the Atlanta Falcons versus the Denver Broncos. I'm a Denver Bronco fan, but I want to say they opened I think it was the national anthem, but it was Kiss. And I'm like, I want to see them. You know, I like Kiss. And, you know, I remember my mom said, you know, one day you'll be able to see them. And I'm going to be honest, that opportunity wasn't really, at the time, that may have been realistic, but, you know, they really didn't, you know, tour where I was, and then we moved and just didn't happen. But I remember they were Sonic Boom came out. I don't remember what year, but they were playing in Portland, Oregon, and at the venue, and they were touring with Buckcherry. And so a buddy of mine and I went to see Kiss. And I thought that was the greatest thing in the world. That I had a lot of fun. Again, you put things in the world, you put things out of, you know, I want to do this. You know, a perfect example. You know, going back to, you know, WrestleMania 16 in Anaheim, California, or WrestleMania 19 in Seattle. You know, it's like, I want to go to WrestleMania. I want to experience. You want to know something? I didn't get to go to my first WrestleMania until WrestleMania 32. And I knew that I remember I remember vividly during WrestleMania 31 telling people I'm going to WrestleMania 32. Now, at that time I was living in Washington State, and I remember them saying, there is no way you're going to be able to do WrestleMania 32. But I did. And to my surprise, I went to WrestleMania 33. Now, I've talked about the WrestleMania 33 story. If it wasn't for my friend basically saving my life during a really horrible part of my life, because a couple days before WrestleMania 33, my father passed away, I became homeless, my world was uprooted. I basically lost everything. And shock, and, you know, I care about my dad. I miss him very much. But the trip was already planned. And I'm going to be honest, the trip was planned back when I was living in Texas. And then things changed a little on the itinerary because my dad asked me to move in and help him in, so I went from Texas to California. And I'm so glad that those things happen. And I got to be there for my dad's final days. And it just happened to be a couple of days before I was going on this vacation to Florida to WrestleMania 33. And I was a complete basket case. But again, I'm glad that I had a good friend with me who just was there for me. They saved my life. I am forever indebted to this person. Because it is true. Because when you are basically alone, and it's hard, and I'm here. I'm still here. I'm still kicking, and I'm not letting my brain win. And I'm a testament that, if you persevere and you have stuff to look forward to, you can conquer Earth, basically, to quote Rita Repulsa. If she was a little bit more positive and not wanting to destroy the Power Rangers, maybe she would have been able to conquer Earth. Or have a Snickers. One of the two. But, you put things out in the world. And there is nothing wrong with that. If it's attainable and, things happen and, I'm 100% certain that, I've been blessed, and I'm sure that, when I do win the lottery, or whatever it may be, that I will be able to do a lot of good. But, again, it might be tonight. It might not. And that's okay. I have to do my part. And that's being me. And I'm also trying to help other people. And the things that, I've been blessed with, the people in my life, I am genuinely who I am. And if I'm having a bad day, I'm going to tell you I'm having a bad day. Wasn't always the case. But you also need to know the good people in your life. And not the people reaching out to you wanting something, or not. If I message somebody, I'm genuinely, hey, are you okay? And, I'm not perfect. I'm far from it. But, we learn from our mistakes. And if we can become better people from our mistakes, fantastic. I'm not normal. I have thoughts that come to my brain that affect my mood. And depending on those things, those are things that I need to work on. But those are also thoughts that my brain, my mental illness, the thing that I struggle from every single day, those are the things that I have to deal with. And if I can tackle those negativity thoughts and go, no, I'm going to have a good day today, or I'm going to do something, constructive, or have something to look forward to, or whatever it may be. And, I've, especially if I get in trouble at a courthouse, I now have something that I can laugh at. Because it's a story that is just bonkers and crazy. Which fits my personality. And, I genuinely want to laugh. I genuinely want to make people feel good. I like feeling good. And that matters. All of that matters. You matter. So, with that said, I love each and every one of you. I'm calling today an episode. And hopefully, in I don't know when. But eventually, how about we come back to this and I tell more stories? And if you like more stories of my life, things that I've done, let me know. If you go to Spotify, I don't know where, but there's usually a poll of what did you think of this episode. Let me know. And share this with people. I care about everybody. And especially on days like today where, normally I would probably be sad and depressed on April 15th. But I chose to be happy today. I chose to not let the past of what this day means to me. And I'm going to, today's the day. Today's April 15th. It is Saturday. And I love my Saturdays. So I'm going to have a wonderful Saturday. And I hope you do too. So, I love y'all. I care about y'all. And I hope y'all I hope y'all smile, because I'm having a good day. I chose to have a good day today. So, please have a big hug from me. Wrap you under my wing. And let all of your worries drip away. Know that you're loved. Know that you matter. And if you're struggling, there's a better day out there. And hopefully you can find ways to smile. And hopefully I've helped you. Until next week. I love y'all. I care about y'all. And take a deep breath. And this has been Coping with Life, Disabled and Mentally Ill. I am the host, Scott. I love y'all. I bid y'all adieu.